Welcome to your new moon in Aries yoga practice. So tonight we are honoring the new moon in Aries. This one has been a little rougher than some of the other new moons in the past. We have some interesting astrology that we've been working with all of these planets that have been in the fiery sign of Aries and all of these planets being direct. Nothing in retrograde this time around, in a very fiery, action-oriented sign. So the thing that's also challenging about tonight's new moon, which would normally be about, yay, set new intentions, plant new seeds, it's also conjunct Chiron, also known as the wounded healer. So we've got the warrior meets the wounded healer, and that usually is talking about some very specific kind of energy and a specific kind of call to work. We are probably feeling this week like we've been pulled in many different directions, that we felt kind of scattered, that there's all of this energy around take action and initiate, because that's what the sign of Aries is about being the initiator, but not necessarily feeling, is this the right direction? Is this just a facade? Because of some of the other aspects that are going on, and just because of so much energy in the sign at this time. So for practice tonight, in honor of Aries, we're going to look at a couple of different stones. The ones I've chosen for tonight, of course, I've got garnet, I've got some cornelian, and I've got black moonstone that I'm also working with tonight. As far as candle, Aries, red is probably going to be your best bet. And we will, as usual, pull a card from the Rebel Soul deck to contemplate for our meditation as we close tonight. But I do want to focus this practice specifically on addressing, healing, and alleviating our pain and suffering. And I am going to be taking us through a specific kind of warrior flow tonight, which we call the flex and flow style. So it combines some of the healing energy of flowing vinyasa with some of the strength warrior endurance work of flexing your poses and holding them for periods of time. We also, of course, do Chandra Namaskar in honor of the moon. And I have a few other things in store for you tonight. So feel free to gather your stones, gather your candle if you like. And when you're ready, come meet me here. And we're going to start off this time in hero's pose. So just sitting comfortably, if you can here. If this is not comfortable, if you're sitting right on your feet heels, feel free to open that up and sit between your knees, whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, I do have a double fold mat, so I do have extra padding here. You can also fold your mat over if that feels more comfortable. But we'll be starting here tonight. Relaxing your shoulders down and back, feeling your shoulder blades slide into their sockets, feeling the neck length and crown of the head stretching towards the sky, feeling the length of our spine, the alignment of our chakras. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, deep breath inhaling and exhaling. Now one more breath, inhale. And as we exhale, just sigh, release your shoulders down. Fingertips stretching to our sides. Now as we inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, gazing up towards the hands. And as we exhale, reaching away from center and sending the gaze downward. And just letting that flow, inhaling and exhaling. And exhaling. And even And as you're sending those arms up, feel yourself back bending slightly. And then as we exhale, lengthening, gazing forward. Inhale. And exhaling. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling. Now this time just inhale one arm up to the sky, opening the side body. And then exhaling down. Switching sides, inhaling. And exhaling. Letting that go. And exhaling. One more each side. That's one. Okay. Now this time inhaling both arms to the sky. And as we exhale, twist and gaze over your back shoulder. Inhaling, the arms come up. We initiate the twist. Exhale, gaze in the other direction. And just letting that flow. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Letting the head and neck complete the twist. Gently firming some pressure, using my opposite hand towards the outside of the knee, deepening into that twist. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now inhale back up to center. And then as we exhale, swan dive forward into child's pose. Just resting here. Deep, easy breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. Now this time as we inhale, drop into the knees, opening through the chest, back bending. And as we exhale, diving back down to child's pose. Inhaling, lifting up, back bending. Exhaling, child's. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath, inhaling. And then exhale, hands coming down, drawing our knees back slightly, fingertips spread wide like starfish. We inhale as we drop the belly, gazing upwards, cow pose. And then exhale and round into cat. Inhaling to cow. Rounding up to cat. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling, gazing upward. Exhaling, releasing back, extended child's pose. Reaching your fingertips out in front of you, pressing fingertips into the mat. Gently releasing from side to side, rocking into your side body. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Drawing back to center. Let's inhale, come forward onto all fours. Drawing the knees back. Exhaling as we lower down to the mat. Inhale, gazing up for a small cobra. And then exhaling, drawing back, extended child's pose. Inhaling, drawing forward into a modified plank. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale, lifting to a modified cobra. And then exhale back, extended child's pose. Just letting that flow. Now this time inhaling forward into that modified plank. Tuck the toes under and gently lifting the downward facing dog. Walking our dog. Pressing one heel and then the other down. Head and neck releasing through the arms. Gently pressing one heel at a time. Breathing easy. Just walking one heel and the other. Taking our time, walking our feet forward, softening through our knees. As we inhale, flattening back, monkey pose. Exhale, releasing back to a forward fold. Once again, inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Now inhale, lengthening the spine. And as we exhale, opening up through one side of the body, gazing up towards our top hand. Inhaling. Exhale and release down. Inhale, flat back, monkey pose. Exhale, back into our forward fold. Inhale as we lengthen the spine. Then exhale, opening up through the other side. Soften your knees as much as you need to. Sending the gaze upward towards our top hand. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath, inhale. Exhaling, releasing back down, forward fold. Inhale with soft knees, swoop up to standing. And exhale, chair pose. Inhale, circle sweep to standing. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, gazing up, monkey pose. Exhale, releasing back down. Inhale, circle sweep to standing. And exhale to chair pose. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale as we swan dive to forward fold. Inhale, gazing up, monkey. Exhale and releasing down. Stepping back with your right leg. Let's open up through the hip. Gazing upward. Inhaling. And exhaling. Dropping that knee down. Let's inhale, drawing up. And exhaling. Another deep breath, inhaling. And as we exhale, releasing the arms down. Tucking our back toes under, we inhale, gently to rock the foot up, back into standing. Exhaling, deepening our forward fold. Inhale as we circle sweep to standing. And exhale, chair pose. Inhaling up. Exhale as we swan dive, forward fold. Inhaling, monkey pose. Exhaling, releasing back. Stepping back with the other foot this time, opening up to our hip here. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Again, another deep breath, inhale. And as we exhale, gently setting that knee down, and if you like, lifting up into a high lunge, opening up our hip flexor. Shoulder blades relaxing down, fingertips stretching tall. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And as we exhale, releasing the hands down, curling our back toes under, and gently walking yourselves back up to forward fold. Inhaling, and then exhaling. Inhale, circle sweep to standing. And exhale, chair pose. Drawing our hands to heart center now. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, deep breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Now inhale as we stand tall, releasing the arms. Exhaling down. Pose. Inhale. And exhaling. Have a deep breath, inhale. And exhaling. Stepping wide on your mat now. We're going to start off taking this foot, turning the toes to face towards that wall, keeping the edge of the foot long on the opposite side. Sending your gaze towards those front legs. Inhaling. And as we exhale, deepening into our warrior stance. Inhaling. Exhaling and holding warrior one. Holding here. 3 to 5 breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. Feeling the shoulder blades releasing down and back. Feeling the edge of our back foot firming into the mat, sealing our stance. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. And a deep breath, inhale. Exhaling, exploring the pose, noticing where you're feeling sensation in your body. Trying to create more expansiveness, more openness. Inhale. And as we exhale, transition now and find warrior two. Feel free to come out of that warrior stance and back in if you like. Notice what feels good in your body. In warrior two, our gaze is over the nail of our middle finger on that forward hand. Feeling the arms parallel to each other, not up here or down here, but at equal height. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now inhale, reach forward, and as we exhale, let's move into a reverse warrior. Good. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhale. Reverse warrior, opening that side body. You can feel free to release that bottom hand if you prefer. So notice it feels good for you. Coming out of that long, strong position if you like. And joining again when you're ready. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now one more breath, inhale. And as we exhale, releasing out. Finding a square hip position. I'm going to show warrior three now. We're going to hinge forward onto that forward leg. If you're close to a wall and you want to use the ball for support, you can take your warrior here. If you'd like to use a block for support, you can take your warrior here. Notice what feels good in your body. And if you want to do it freestanding, that is an option as well. Hips are square. Body is strong. Inhale. And exhaling. Again, inhale. inhale. And as we exhale, gently drawing back up. Let's go ahead and hop into mountain pose. Inhaling. Exhale as we swan dive. Inhaling, gazing up. Exhaling and releasing down. Inhale as we circle sweep to standing. Exhaling our arms to our sides. Deep breath, inhale. And exhaling. And again, inhaling. And exhale. One more breath, inhaling. Exhaling. Let's find our warrior stance on our other side. In this position, my toes are pointed towards this wall. Side of my foot is facing this way. Softening into that forward knee. Finding our warrior stance. Twisting my spine, we inhale, sending the chest in the same direction as our forward leg. And as we exhale, back bending, finding warrior one. Just exploring the pose, 3 to 5 breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. Always give yourself permission to come in and out of the pose as you wish. Inhaling. And exhaling. The side of the foot gently firming into our mats. Inhaling. And exhaling. Another deep breath, inhale. And exhaling. Now inhale, reaching forward, and as we exhale, releasing out, finding warrior two on this side. Again, feeling the expanse of your wingspan, reaching your fingertips away from each other, away from center, along through your body. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. A few more breaths here. We inhale and exhaling. Even more space, even more length, even more strength. Inhaling. This time as we exhale, reaching forward and then reaching over into reverse warrior. Opening through the side body. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, feel free to release that bottom arm if you prefer. Your option. Inhaling. And exhaling. Taking one more deep breath, inhaling. Exhaling and releasing out, squaring ourselves now towards the opposite wall. You can use your block, you can freestand. I'm using a chair as we come forward and just hinge forward. Finding warrior three on this side. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, you can use one hand, the other arm across the balance. You can use a block if you prefer. Or as I mentioned, You can just freehand it as well if you want to just hold it. Your option. Inhale and exhale. A few more breaths here. Strong through the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Now one more breath, inhale. And as we exhale, releasing the foot down, softening through our knees. Let's come up from center, switching our stance, and getting ready to flow now that we've flexed. Inhale as we release. Exhale, finding warrior one. Inhale, lifting. Exhaling, finding warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, turn the palm over. And as we exhale, we find reverse warrior. Inhale, up. Exhaling, coming forward. Warrior three. Oops, not doing a spiral. Inhaling. And as we exhale, pushing off the wall, switching stance. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior one. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, turn the palm over. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale as we stand tall, square the hips. Exhale, warrior three. Inhaling. Exhale as we step down, switch stance. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, palm over. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale to come tall. Exhale, warrior three. Inhaling. Exhale as we push off the wall. Switch stance. Inhaling. Exhale. Warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling. Warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, palm over. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Inhale as we come up tall, square your hips. Exhale. Warrior three. Inhaling. Exhale as you release down. Switch your stance. Inhale. Exhaling. Warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling. Warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhaling. Exhale, warrior three. Inhaling. Exhale as we push up, switch stance. Inhaling. Exhale, warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling, turn the palm over. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhaling. Exhale, warrior three. Inhaling, pushing up. Exhale, switching stance. Inhale. Exhaling, warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling, turn the palm over. Exhaling, reverse warrior. Inhaling, square the hips. Exhale, warrior three. Inhaling. Exhale, switch stance. Last time, inhaling. Exhaling, warrior one. Inhaling. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling. Exhaling, reverse warrior. Inhaling, squaring hips. Exhale. Warrior three. Inhaling. Exhaling. Mountain pose. Inhale. Feel free to drink some water. Continue breathing. Okay. Going to move into our moon salutations now. We'll spend a little time on each of the poses before we float in together, so that if you've not done Chandra Namaskar before, you'll get familiar with the poses that are part of that flow. It is the sweeter moon sister to the sun salutation. And inhale the shoulders up. Exhaling, finding mountain pose. Now inhale the arms up. Exhale, and just tilt it to one side. Inhale. And as we exhale, into goddess pose. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. Now inhale as we lift up, adjust the feet into a warrior stance. As we exhale, releasing through the hips and down into triangle pose. Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. One more deep breath, inhale. And as we exhale, soften that forward knee, pivot your back foot as we move into pyramid pose. Inhaling, exhale, feel free to climb that forehead forward. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. Another deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Now inhale, softening that forward knee, and as we exhale, releasing the back knee down, lifting up into high lunge. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Another deep breath, inhaling, and exhaling. Now the last time, inhale, and as we exhale, releasing down. Inhale as you pivot towards me, and as we exhale, sitting down to side lunge. Inhale, and exhaling. Again, deep breath, inhaling, opening up through the inside of that leg. And exhaling. Another deep breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Our last breath, inhale. And as we exhale, shifting over to the other side. Finding the side lunge there. Inhale. Deep, easy breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhaling. And exhale. Last time, inhale. As we exhale, pivoting, finding that high lunge position. Once we're stable, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Deep breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Now one more breath, inhale. And as we exhale, releasing down. Drawing up that back toe, let's inhale, gently drawing ourselves up. And as we exhale, releasing back. Pyramid pose. Again, I'm taking my pyramid up higher on the chair. You could also use a block for this if you like. Or you can also support yourself on your shin, whatever feels best in your body. Inhale. And exhale. A few more deep breaths here. Inhaling. And exhale. Another deep breath, inhaling. And as we exhale, softening that back foot, taking it through the side, and moving into our triangle pose. Inhale. And exhale. In honor of the wounded healer, I am showing modifications using props in today's practice. I hadn't really done that yet, so I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. If you've not seen, I've got full yoga practices with props on my channel. Check them out if you're interested. It's in the yoga playlist. Good. Another deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. So everything just crackle and come into alignment. Okay. Now one more deep breath, inhaling. And as we exhale, soften the knees, pivot the foot out, and finding goddess pose once again. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now one more breath, inhale. Exhale as we come forward and find mountain pose. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale. Side bending to the other side this time. Inhaling. Exhale as we find goddess pose. Inhaling, coming up, taking our feet. Exhale as we move into triangle pose. Inhaling. And as we exhale, pivot the back foot and find your pyramid pose. Inhaling. And as we exhale, soften the back knee, the forward knee, and gently draw up. High lunge. Inhaling. And as we exhale, pivoting, side lunge. Inhaling. And as we exhale, side lunge on the other side. Inhaling. Exhale as we pivot. Find high lunge. down through your nose. Inhale. And as we exhale, triangle pose. Inhaling. As we exhale, soften through the knee, lifting up. Goddess pose. Inhaling, triangle. Exhale to mountain. Inhaling. Exhale, side bending. Inhaling. Exhaling. 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 Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. Inhale the arms up. Tracing the midline of the body, we exhale. Good. Keep that flowing. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale the arms up. Exhale as we swan dive into forward fold. Soften our knees. Let's draw down onto our mat. Relaxing down onto your back. Letting the back release out. Settling onto our backs. Go ahead and extend the heels up towards the ceiling as we draw our knees into our chest. Now you can just keep it here if you like, using the index finger and your middle finger. Gently wrap it around the big toe, reaching between the second toe, and then gently drawing our thighs downward in happy baby's pose. Resting here. Baby's pose. Feel free to close your eyes or soft focus your eyes. We're just exploring this pose. It's a vulnerable pose when you do it in public. If you're alone, it's not nearly as vulnerable. But it's a great opportunity, especially now looking at this conjunction with Chiron, our wounded healer, looking perhaps at wounds from childhood that we're still hanging on to, that we should be releasing, especially with this new moon. Easy breaths. Let's release those toes, drawing our knees together, gently placing our feet down on the mat. Let's counter that. Happy baby's pose. Spread the fingers wide like starfish. Let's go ahead and lift the hips up into a bridge. Releasing our shoulders down. Feeling our inner thighs strongly drawing the knees together. A little bit of dynamic tension. Letting our necks be long on the mat. Breathing easy. Inhaling. And exhaling. Another deep breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Last time, inhale. Once we exhale, gently lowering our hips down, drawing our knees into our chest, and once again taking that easy rock side to side. I invited you to take a brief look back at your childhood with Happy Baby's pose. I'm going to try a different inversion to get a different perspective. Allow your neck to be long on your mat. Let's gently take our hands down behind our hips, and when you're ready, push into the fingertips and draw your hips up. So I'm here in a little bit of a pike position, sort of a half shoulder stand. If this feels good to you, stay here. And
please feel free to keep your head centered. Looking at the camera probably wasn't the best move there. If you want to align yourself a little bit more on your shoulders, feel free to do so. Feel free to draw your feet back. Get a little more of alignment. And if you've got the space to do so, I think I do. Then feel free to bring it down. If that's too much for your neck though, give yourself grace. And just play with the perspective. Finding that alignment in your body. Shoulders tipped. Inhale. And as we exhale, softening the knees, gently releasing down and rolling out. Slowly bringing our feet back to the mat. Exhale. Now if you like, you can take another bridge pose like we did previously. Or if you'd like to try something a little different, you can come with me now as I bring my hands underneath my hips, extending our legs long. And then gently drawing up here and releasing down. Breathe easy. It's always a nice counter pose to our inversions. Inhaling and exhaling. And again, if you want to draw your feet up like I'm doing now, it's a little more challenging. My head is up, my feet are up. Inhaling. And as we exhale, release it down, release it down. Good. Relaxing head and neck. Noticing where there's any last resistance. Just release any tension you might still be feeling in your body. Send your breath there. When you're ready, gently drawing the knees into your chest, taking your time. Easy rock. Okay. Gathering the candle. As I always have been doing in our new moon practices, drawing a Rebel Soul Oracle card for you. Let's see what we're going to initiate. This is the time to take bold and direct action to address, heal, and alleviate whatever is paining you, whatever is causing you suffering. And for this one, we need to get at the root cause. This is not tropical. This is not a symptom. So tonight, we're going to go in. We're going to meditate on what is causing the pain in the first place. And being brave enough to go in, clean out the wound. It's not for the faint of heart.
this time, we are called to transform. So let's light our candle and initiate this journey of transformation. So what does transformation look like for you on this new moon in Aries tonight? Finding a comfortable seated position, allowing your gaze to be on your drishti, your focus point, your candle flame. Feel free to soft focus your eyes. Transform. Your attention wandering, just draw it back to your candle flame. Draw it back to your mantra and transform. As we draw to the end of our practice, and before you extinguish your flame, walk into your mind what that transformation is for you over this next new moon period. I want to thank you for joining us this evening for our new moon in Aries yoga practice. The smoke is going north. I always like to note the direction that the flame goes in. In this case, smoke is going north. Our next practice for the full moon is Scorpio. It's going to be on May 1st, and that is going to be a signature Yang warrior inspired workout. I'm going to do some kickboxing by special request. But for tonight, feel free to make your moon water, other rituals that you engage in for your new moon practice. Charge your crystals, do your things, do your magic. Heal your wounds. Breath inhale. Exhale as we trace the midline. It's my honor and privilege to guide our practice. Thank you for joining. Namaste.